Well, when it comes to retirement, there are some assumptions that people have that may be completely wrong, and we want to make sure we dispel those. So Jennifer Delcomyn with Evans Financial Group joins us today to talk about some of the common misconceptions about retirement. So let's dive right in that this is something that a lot of people think, that retirement strategy planning is just for the wealthy.
Absolutely, they do. And it's kind of comical to me because if that were the case, nearly, no one would really ever be able to retire if that were really true. We all have to start somewhere. We're living longer with inflation. We have to look at this. We have to start earlier. There are so many wonderful tools to take advantage of. The Roth, we can do Roth IRAs,
Right.
HSAs, take advantage of employer sponsored retirement plans. If you have a 401k, especially if your employer is going to contribute to it, take advantage of that. Start early, start building that foundation. I always tell people it's kind of like building a house. Start with a good solid foundation and then we work upwards. The later or the older we get in life.
Right, and this is something that anybody can start right now. It doesn't matter what stage of your career you're at.
Absolutely, yes.
And one other thing that I've noticed is that people will say, depending on the life, depending on how much you save, you're kind of locked into a certain lifestyle.
Yes, and that's not true either because, we have to make sure that, again, this is 2025 and things have changed. There are different products out there, different tools to invest in, and just making sure that you have the right plan that's specific for your goals. Working with an advisor that's going to make sure that your retirement is set up specifically for you and what you're wanting. It's very important to make sure that the communication is ongoing. You're meeting regularly to make sure that you're meeting those goals and that everything is right on track, because we know that life happens, things can change, and we need to make sure that we can make changes within your plan as needed.
Absolutely. And you mentioned financial planners, working with them. Some might say, well, it doesn't matter which one I go with because they're all the same.
Well, and again, and that's not true either. So, so we're all different. We have some that when people come into our office, they always, one of the questions that's always asked is, do you have a minimum of how much we can invest with you? No, our firm does not. But there are some firms that do. Some are fee-based, some work off of commissions by products that they sell. And it's just all in doing your research. In our office, we always have a discovery meeting with our first appointments, the people that come in, and that's a good indication of making sure that we mesh well.
Yeah.
Are we a good fit for each other? And if we're not, hey, that's okay. That's why we have second opinions. Go to someone else. Make sure the person is right for you, because this is going to be a long-lasting relationship that you're building with someone.
Exactly. Are there any other misconceptions that you find when you're talking to clients for maybe the first few times that they are surprised to find out aren't true?
Just really essentially, just mainly the ones that we covered today. Those are probably the ones that really stick out the most when it comes to a lot of the questions that are asked. A lot of it is how we get paid. That's probably the most asked question. But no, I think that's probably we hit all the main ones.
Right. So you can get started at any point. You don't need to wait until you're at a certain age or at a certain stage of life to really start getting serious about your planning.
Nope. The sooner you start, the better you'll be financially for the future.
Awesome. Thank you, Jennifer, for coming in and sharing these tips with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Of course.